Hello, and welcome back to the Legendarium podcast. I am Ash, and I am joined today by Hurinfan
I.
and Kyptan.
Hey, everybody.
Today we will be wrapping up our coverage on The Curse of the Mistwraith, Book 1 in The Wars of Light and Shadow by Janny Wurts. We'll start, as always, with a spoiler-free section before moving to a spoiler-filled section. So you can treat this first part of the episode as sort of our review of the book and whether or not you, listener, should read it. Sound good?
Yeah.
So, Kieran, how did you like the book?
I liked it a lot. I'm not gonna immediately put it in my favorite books, but I think it is excellent. I think the characters are multi-layered. I think the world is well thought out. I think it's I wouldn't call it super unique. It's still got a lot of stuff that I've read before, but what she does is very interesting, especially metatextually. Um, I, I I don't know what else to say. I really liked it a lot. It's very empathetic. Made me think about justice and free will and some good stuff. I don't know if we're gonna get into that in this episode, and I don't know if I want to.
We can talk about agency. How about
Sure.
I guess a spoiler is that free will objectively exists in this world because of a prime vibration, but
A
I'm not
very
sure what that
lyrical.
actually means considering what we've seen so far. Um, Kip, how'd you like the book?
Oh wait. I had
uh,
one thing I wanted to say. I was not as emotionally invested as I wished I was.
Hmm.
I find this book an interesting discussion on morality of certain things, and also not at all interesting about it at the same time, because of how black and white some of these things are. But, but,
Do you keep the
um,
children in the slave factories or do you release them? The economy maybe depends on them.
it's okay. Their parents were definitely wrong.
Yeah, totally criminals.
Yeah. Um, the descriptions did kind of take me a while to push through sometimes. Sometimes it felt like it was just sentence after sentence of description that wasn't necessarily all linked together, but together formed a cohesive whole eventually.
Hmm.
And sometimes my brain wasn't willing to wait for that eventually in the middle of a paragraph. It was like, okay, I got to put this down for a second. We're talking about windows now for some reason, and the gravity of the scene seems to have paused mid sentence for like 3 sentences. We'll get back to the action, I'm sure, but my brain says, let's put it down.
Yeah, the action is very much it's never the totality of what's going on. It's only ever used to
By action
supplement
here,
what's
I'm
going
just
on.
referring to like
Yeah.
dialogue.
Yes.
Like this wasn't
Yeah.
an impactful scene that I'm remembering putting down. It was like two people talking to one another, and one of them having uh I don't know, some emotional reaction to something being said. And we just paused for a few sentences. And once I noticed that time, I started noticing it elsewhere. I was like,
Everywhere, yeah.
oh, this isn't quite as enjoyable as Minecraft.
Well, I mean, you like Minecraft more than possibly anybody else, right?
Yeah, but his is a narrative voice as opposed to I don't know who exactly is doing the narrating in this story other than these
Sages.
impartial wizards back in the sages. And they're trying not to put their spin on it. They're just trying to say this is the fact. This fact also. And
This
let's
is
talk
how it
about the
happened.
windows for a bit.
Yeah.
Impartial and great big air quotes.
Huge air quotes. But their impartial style annoys me much more than Mycroft's not at all impartial style.
So you liked it, but with caveats?
I liked it. I've been assured that the series grows, and I'm excited to see where it goes from there. I've been assured that the prose also gets a little bit less clunky, and that will also be fun to see. We'll see if I agree with it. Um, but I will readily admit that as a starting point, this is a very good work.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and
Was
I
this
will
or
also
was
admit
this
to
first
loving the
episode?
map.
Oh
I
yeah?
love the map. I'm not super happy about how readily available teleportation seems to be to certain people. uh, but other than that, it's large. It seems well thought out, and geography is used to good effect in chases and combats and things. So that also makes me think a bit of the saga of Recluse. which I've been comparing this work to a lot as I go through it.
What edition are you reading of this book?
Uh,
It's ebook for me.
it's ebook for me. Yeah.
Well, lucky both of you. I've got the mass market, and I'm looking at the map, and it's disgusting. I am
What
disgusted.
do you What do you mean?
It looks terrible. It just looks terrible.
Oh, like the
I,
division because of the pages?
No, it's just like the lines are so thick you can't make out anything. The detail is missing entirely just because of the crappy print.
I mean, it's huge. Like it's a very large continent.
Yeah, this is just one of them. We got two continents to work with. Two big continents to
Wait,
work with.
there are two.
Kip, oh, I see you too have not read the glossary.
Mine didn't have a glossary; it just ended.
What?
Really?
Mine had a glossary.
Yeah, mine definitely has a glossary.
Yeah, the glossary actually in this book is
It's
super
really
cool.
long.
It's pretty long. It's got for all the for the nerds who care about the pronunciations and root meanings of words and going into some of the like curse words that people are using, like Dalian Fate Master.
That's
Yeah, I was very
Kurtwolf's word?
confused by Daily and Fate Master.
Yeah, so the glossary is where you can look to find more information about that.
Okay, okay.
Also, meth means hate. So the meth snakes are hate
Oh,
snakes. Yeah.
that doesn't make it better.
I actually love this. I love all of this. Clearly Janny Wurts is like too pure of a creature, like a parade. She's a Paravian herself, blissfully
Okay.
ignorant of
No,
the
my
modern
glossary is here.
usages of meth and other words. You
I
do
did
have a
not go.
glossary?
I do have a glossary.
Excellent.
Actually, I'm looking at it right now. I like it. Root meaning pronounced. Cameras, North City. Yeah, this is cool.
Ward is in here.
Yeah, that's the last one, isn't it? I
Yep.
can't believe you called her prose clunky because that's actually at the top of my list of what is so good about this book.
I think much like
It shouldn't be
the
the only word I use to describe her prose. I will say that.
yeah. I think much like the Master of Shadow himself, Arathon, there is some real talent here, real
Oh yeah,
skill, and it just kind of needs a bit of refinement from a Master Bard.
sure.
And I think maybe she's her own Master Bard, and it'll just get better as the series goes on. I was really happy with the prose, honestly. I like the style that she uses. I think that perhaps, like, it
It
can be improved upon, I think.
it jumps between one thing and the next in a scene a little bit too abruptly for my mind to put together into a cohesive flow. There's just all of these natural stopping points that my mind wants to stop at. And that might be a personal problem, but for me, it made it harder to get through this book than it might otherwise be. And I found myself rereading paragraphs more than I usually do,
Oh, I read a lot, but good
way
for
Like,
more than
you.
I usually do.
you brought this up already, so it's fair game. But like, this is bonkers coming from someone who likes Minecraft so much. Oh, you mean it stops in the middle of the action to do something
No,
almost
I can't.
entirely unrelated?
No, but like every sentence, like there'll just be a paragraph of these disconnected sentences that together make a scene, but there's no thing dragging you from one to the next. Whereas unlike with Minecraft always has a through line and a patter,
It's
and
because these stages aren't including you personally in the narrative enough, right? They're not saying, reader, pay attention to how Lysair is doing this thing with his hair.
exactly, exactly.
Isn't it a lot how Achilles entered the battlefield after his best friend died?
Yeah.
In case you missed that reference.
Um, for more in this vein, tune into our Terra Ignota coverage. So we've talked about general impressions. How do we feel about the character work in this book? Do we like it? Do we dislike it?
I think our protagonists are very well painted. I think everyone else is a little lacking. Um,
Everyone else?
yeah, even Elira, who seems to be like the third largest. Um, I still don't have a very good feel for what she's like. I think she's interesting. I think she's good. I think she kind of just exists for the core. What is her group called?
The Coriani.
Enchantress? Yeah, the
Coriani. Thank
Coriani.
you. The Coriani just to have a way to the two protagonists. I think the Fellowship are kind of painted in broad brush strokes. We get a little bit about each of them that makes them appear deeper or seem deeper than they first appear, like Dakar and Asandir and Traith. But other than our two protagonists, I don't have a really good feel of anybody. Cowl? How do you pronounce that guy's name? T A
Yeah,
Oh,
O L L E.
that's probably said in the glossary, actually. We can even look that up right now.
Kale. Kale. I want to say Kale.
Um,
I doubt it.
let's see if Janny Wurts agrees.
K
It's
Ali.
Kayali, yeah, with the E nearly subliminal. Kayali.
Kale. Kale.
Kayali. No, it's Kayali. Kayali. There you go.
Kayali.
Kayali.
You guys, that E is not subliminal.
Kayala.
Kayali.
Nearly subliminal, it says. See, this is both a music nerd and a linguist nerd who is writing this
Yeah.
book.
He seemed interesting, and it seemed like he has a lot of stuff to do in the future in coming books. And he actually kind of showed a little bit of growth. But yeah, I think
I-
it's just kind of a two-man show.
I think I agree with you. And like, for the character of Elira, she's like not. She feels the closest to a reader self-insert that we get.
Really.
But for the most part, I liked the other characters. Even though I agree that they could use some more fleshing out. Like it still seemed like real people to me.
I think I ended up liking Moriel's development more than Elira's in this half of the book.
Yeah, I feel like I got a better grasp on what she's like than Elira.
Well, Elira is still unformed, I think.
That's true.
She's a sorceress, and she's going to live many, many years, I assume. We're we're not in spoiler
Many
territory, I
centuries,
guess, but
apparently.
yeah.
It's just like she meets Arathon, and suddenly, well, I guess we shouldn't get to that, but
No.
I mean, it's very clear who the love interests are in this book, right? And how opposite they are.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I don't want any messing around. I don't want any love triangles. I don't want any ambiguity. Just settle down with who you're going to settle down with, and don't bother me with that section of the story.
you
Oh,
heard it
buddy, you think
here.
they're settling
Ash
down?
doesn't want ambiguity.
Yes, exactly. Romantic ambiguity, terrible. Just have the characters just like mechanically tell each other, "I like you. I like you. Let's be life partners."
I'm sorry, there's no life partner in a mortal woman for Lysair.
Yeah. Well, he's probably going to churn through women, I think. He's a jock.
He is. He absolutely
He's
is
a
going to turn through women. That's his path.
So, okay, what this
Would
series
that
is
be
set up
just?
to be is a musical theater nerd versus a football jock. Do we agree?
No,
Uh,
because the football jock sucks at football.
He doesn't suck at football. He's really good at football.
No, he's passably fine at
I think we're getting a little too spoilery.
it. I also think we're getting too spoilery.
That's like the premise of the series, though. Like Wars of Light and Shadow. It's in the title.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, okay, so we like the central characters. Or we find them interesting. At least they're dynamic,
Find
are
them
interesting.
interesting. Yes.
Yes, both of
I
them.
like none. I
which is more
like
important than
almost
liking
none
them.
of them. I like Moriel and Elira, which is not really who I thought I was going to start liking.
That's very funny. I was thinking, yeah, you're gonna be totally a fan of the sad musical theater kid who
I
just doesn't fit
mean,
in.
I feel sorry for him. I don't like him.
It's hard
You
not
like
to.
Fitz? Oh, I forget. Do you like Fitz or not? I feel like
Uh,
that's informative of how much you
no,
would like Arathon.
no, I feel sorry for Fitz. I don't like him.
Okay, oh, there you are. The tracks then.
A lot of pity.
I would recommend this book to Hob fans actually.
I probably would too. Yeah. And actual Hob fans, not just Hob fans who finished Assassin's Apprentice and said, yeah, that was good.
Are those
Is that
hot
like a
fans?
I
shot
don't
at
need more.
anybody in particular?
I don't know. Does that fit anybody in particular? If you're listening, you know.
There we go.
So, should we do the who would? Are we getting into that already? Who would you recommend this to?
Yeah, let's do that. Who would we recommend this book to? I would recommend it to
Um,
anybody who likes both Hob and Malazan, I think. And
I
well,
would
just Hob
recommend
fans in general. I think Malazan fans would probably find a lot to enjoy about this as well.
I would recommend to Tolkien fans and who wins lyrical prose.
Yes.
It might have too much moral ambiguity for Tolkien fans, but there is still moral objectivity, so they might find themselves rescued there. The prose is, I think, yeah, I think the fans of Tolkien's prose would probably enjoy this as well. Although there is significantly fewer travelogue descriptions and more descriptions of the internal lives of characters.
Yeah,
Yes. Yes. Travel gets mercifully skipped.
mercifully.
Yeah.
It's the best part of Tolkien.
I was halfway through a reread with just reading it out loud to Lady Ash, and I gotta say I want to gouge my eyes out with those travel descriptions this time.
I
Yeah,
hate you. I'm
it's
with.
it's much worse when you have to go through it slowly as you speak.
Mm.
You can't just like skim over. And now they went around the bend, but the bend was actually a bit too brambly, so they had to go back around the switchback and clamber down into the brush for a little bit, which is a bit uncomfortable for their hobbit feet.
I did read aloud The Hobbit. I'm sure that's much more
Yeah, The Hobbit I'm legitimately excited
forgiving.
to read aloud. Yes. I would recommend this to people perhaps who actually like Kingkiller.
Yeah, yeah.
I think I think there's a similar
Because
focus on prose, on music, and on
on music,
deeply flawed characters who have like they're deeply flawed, but also they excel at things.
at least these ones have better reasons for being flawed.
Setting that aside, they do have good reasons for being flawed in this. Absolutely.
We don't know how good they
This
are at
also
sex though.
how good they are at sex. That's true. That's perhaps for book two. I'm excited
Yeah.
for that.
I
Um,
am not.
I would recommend it to people who like
Hey,
tragedy as well.
forced compassion might be good for sex. Who knows?
I expect in book 2, we're gonna meet the Paravians, and Arathon finds out that he is actually the master of sex with centaurs and unicorns.
It's like centaurs and oh jeez. I don't think the story is going there. I think the unicorns are too pure for this. The centaurs maybe.
Amazon's gonna bring unicorns back with sex. You heard it here first, folks. This is Aaron's
Arath
prediction.
Arathon's the sex god. I mean, we know Wurts is a horse girl, so
Yeah. My love, I'm afraid I
Wow.
can't have sex with you. I
Wow.
would just ruin you for all other men. I cannot have this burden upon my conscience.
If Marathon ends up forever celibate, that would be a hilarious reason. He can
I
only have
cannot
sex. He can
perpetuate
only
my
have sex
bloodline.
in his like 500th year when the spring is about to run out on him.
And he realizes he's gonna miss out.
hmm And then only to a fellow whatever the version of Genarian is after 500 years. Cinquacentenarian.
cinquecentennial scenarian.
Hmm. World? Thoughts on the world? We have world building fans.
It's
We have world building fans. We have only really explored maybe in broadest strokes a third of this continent.
Mhm.
Maybe.
And we get cool
Um,
fantasy creatures that show up for like half a page and then the rest is humans.
it's amazing how much that half a page is contributing to the third count. Um, but it seems interesting. It seems like mountain ranges are actually going to be important strategic points in this world, and I love that.
Yeah, the geography seems
It's
actually important, which is incredible,
Yep.
right?
It
We
seems
don't
like
get that often in
multi-valley
fantasy.
systems are going to be useful. Seems like war
Weather
parties actually
patterns.
can't immediately contact one another. It seems
Yeah.
like our fellowship mages cannot immediately contact one another whenever it's convenient for the plot for them to forget they have that ability.
see, like my map is so bad, I literally can't read like what half of these words are. I
I'll
hate you,
admit,
Grab a
bastard.
paper
I went
reference.
online and I found a bigger version of the map.
I wonder if Janny Wurts drew the map herself.
She
I
probably
bet
did.
she did.
She
Like,
there's other art in here, and I'm sure she did it because it looks really good.
one of the things I get
Okay.
from this book is that Janny Wurts is probably a very cool person to talk to.
And do we know if it's Wurts or Verts? Because I listened to a bit of the audiobook and they pronounce it Verts.
I can't say I've thought about that.
Until
She's
I'm
born in
proven
Pennsylvania.
wrong, I will. Well, Pennsylvania
She
Dutch.
could have German ancestry.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm gonna
jeez.
I'm gonna go with words for the moment because that's what I heard everyone else say. But if somebody corrects me and they got proof, I'll go with Verts. I'm probably
Okay.
pronouncing that wrong too.
Great.
But yeah, the map seems interesting. She seems interesting. Uh, and I look forward to learning where all of the lanes lie
Mm.
because we
And
have
what all
this
the prime
very
vibrations are,
interesting.
right?
Yeah. We have this very interest. I mean, there's the five prime vibrations, right?
Do we know what all of them mean, though?
For
There's one aligned to
for
free will.
Ithamon, no, we don't really know what they all mean.
There's Ath, which is the prime, like that's the Ath creator. So the prime
Yep.
creator is like a waveform, which is very interesting, I think.
It's very Tolkien-y.
Well,
Yes, it
yeah, I
is.
think it's I
Yes,
think
it
it's more
is.
Tolkien than Tolkien is. Like the foundation of this world is music, but Eru Luvatar is like up above that. Like he's like still an entity. I don't know if Ath Creator is like an entity at all beyond just like the fundamental music of creation. Ath Creator might just be a self-causing note or series of notes, which
or
yeah, I think is
whole
very interesting.
encompassing all notes. They
Yeah.
are the gestalt of the universe.
So musicians are the most virtuous people in this world, I think, just kind of metaphysically.
I do agree with that. Like it's constantly being referred to as like musician sensitivities.
hmm
I mean, yeah,
Being
Arizona's probably so
something
good at.
that can be affected even if you're not necessarily in like direct presence or like meaningful sensory experience. Just being like proximal to something can affect your musician sensitivities.
Yes. And like goodness is aligned with harmony. If you are existing in harmony with the world, like in like a kind of a musical sense, then everything will be better. And then what's going wrong is disharmony is being introduced.
Yes.
Align
And
yourself with
if
the
you
prime
are
vibrations, everyone.
and if you're forced to make difficult decisions of life and death in a matter of war, it's going to upset your musician sensitivities and disrupt your inner harmony.
Exactly. Yeah.
This is sounding way too new agey for me.
Which is also a thing that happens in Recluse.
That is funny. Yeah, like I clearly the waveform nature of light is going to make a big appearance in this series, right?
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Is Lysair more of a particle or is he a wave? Hmm.
Yes.
Uh dude is a tsunami.
Tsunami. He is. I do like how he's kind of a force of nature. Like both of them are, and then
Destiny is
it's
real
easy to
real
see
in this
how
world.
Destiny is real, yeah. And question, yeah, there are questions of free will and um, consequences for your actions and consequences for how you've influenced other people and whether or not you should be doing that. And some moral complexities that I appreciated, and then some moral quote conundrums that it really aren't at all. Which I think is also the point. Like I don't think Jenny Wirtz actually thinks it's much of a debate whether or not you should murder children, which I appreciate. You know, it's not like
Yeah.
it's at no point is it clear is it not clear that like murdering children or you know sending them to work in sweatshops is a bad thing. So if anybody is frustrated with the tendency in modern fiction to kind of have a deep moral relativity to it, that's not this series. So you get your
No,
moral clarity, Tolkien fans.
But she also doesn't,
absolutely.
have a character say, "Oh, I guess she does. Never mind."
I mean, Lysaris is a lot of things and thinks even more.
He does, yeah. And
He does have a
it's
character
not
that
like
says,
he's like
"This
a
is wrong. You should stop
caricature
it."
of a guy. I don't think evil is caricatured here, except I mean, some in some cases it kind of is. But for the most part, I think it's like a nuanced evil. Like you can see why these people are doing evil things, even though it's clear that they're still evil and they shouldn't be doing it. You know, like
I mean,
there are ways to do moral ambiguity, quote unquote, which is just like, well, you can't really blame anybody for any action they have, right? But that's very not much not what Janny Wurts is doing here.
is the Fellowship evil?
That is probably the hardest question, right?
Should we
I,
get into
I find it
spoilers?
fairly difficult. I think we should.
Yes. So if this intrigues you, and I think it should, listener, please read the book and come back to this discussion. We will be starting our spoiler discussion now. All right, have at her.
I hate the royal bloodlines. I hate them so much.
Wait, why?
Because it sure, maybe the high kings of old ruled in peace and justice for a few millennia, but we're going to get 500 years of perverted compassion and justice because of it.
I think that is one thing Janny Wurts is going to explore. Yes,
Yeah, I think that's the point,
I
though.
I don't think we're supposed to be uncritically on
It
board
is
with
the
the bloodlines.
A, it's the point. B, who thought that forced empathy was like just to put onto a child? Who thought that germline changes were moral or ethical in any fashion?
Like
I,
unchangeable
I
ones.
I have thought many, many, many a time that the world would be a better place if everybody just had a base empathy of like, I don't know, a few extra points. I'm not saying it's ethical to force it onto children, but I mean, having that
Yeah,
there in the first
what
place
if
might
you
be
just
good.
give one child like 600 extra points of empathy?
It averages out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know
and then the
that.
no.
way that these can be perverted is obviously a main theme of this book, right? Like
Yes.
Yeah.
The
Yes.
justice one is obvious, but also like Arathon like spends so much time in like just total inaction, self-pity, ruining things for everybody around him, kind of being a sad sack. When he really doesn't need to be, like this is when he does decide to act, he's extremely competent most of the time.
I mean, I think you're being a little hard on Arathon
I
because
agree.
at one point he literally goes to the clans and he's like, "Guys, you don't want this. This is a bad idea. Don't follow me." And he tries to talk them out of everything that they did, and they still went through with it. I think at
But
many points he kind of did everything that he could.
but the one thing is that they were screwed whether or not he was going to like at that point he had caused an event that was going to get these clans like war is being declared on these clans, right?
I think they could have run away.
I don't think so, right?
Or they
Like
run away when they lost, and they
they
have
run away
time to regroup.
when the army is destroyed, when the opposing
Yeah,
army is
when the
destroyed.
army was destroyed. They said that if
Yeah,
they ran, they'd be caught.
yeah,
Okay.
I think the army was traveling faster than they were for
yeah,
some
which
reason.
I think makes sense. An army can generally travel faster than an entire tribe of people with men, women, and children in it.
I don't know, an army that's never actually existed or done anything before?
So what you can do is you can send out like outriders and like specifically like the Headhunters League, which would killed like most of them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And also
Headhunters
you can
League would,
call
would
for
have
help.
killed a bunch of them.
Yeah, you can just call for help from like all the other towns that are going to join the cause now, right?
Well, they called for help from all the other clans. They were just not in time to get there on time.
Sorry, the towns like the other towns in the nation are joining
Yeah,
Lysair's
but I'm
cause, right?
saying that the other clans are joining Arathon's cause now as well.
Yes, yes.
And they'd already sent out riders and messengers before their like big war council, and they were like, "Sorry, like our guys are a day too far away."
Hmm. Very sad.
I don't know. I just figure horse nomads might be better at moving through wild country that they know that the townspeople don't.
I wouldn't call them horse
For some
nomads.
reason.
That brings to mind like Mongols and stuff. I don't think they're Mongols. I think they are like Germanic tribes.
I think that seems closer to it, yeah. 'Cause
Yeah,
I don't get the feeling that
like
they're
the
really
Alemanni
all
or
that
the Av.
nomadic.
I mean, they explicitly have many different camps that they travel to in like a rotation of kinds.
Yeah, when they're not being hunted.
Like yeah, they're always being hunted.
Well, sorry, actively hunted by 10,000 people.
Yeah, yeah. When they're not being raided so deep into their territory.
Mhm.
Um, but this is a brand new army, and we just have to accept that Lysair and Diegan and Nudsog and what was the headhunters league guy's name?
Oh, it's like it starts with a P. Puval,
Like Pistig or something.
like the most evil character in the book by far.
Mm, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
We have to rape these women.
Yeah, there's no other way. Well, I suppose. Pesquil.
It makes them scream the most. Yeah,
Pesquil. Yeah, I
Pesquil.
guess
Yeah,
like the most minor of kudos for Lysair for being like, actually, maybe don't rape them to death. I'll just kill them.
yeah.
That
So much
also
better.
accomplishes this, Pesquil. Not like Lysair definitely did something wrong in this battle, but that's the danger of Crusader, I guess. I don't know. I buy that they would not have been able to effectively escape the whole nation of Rithane without being forced into battle, right?
I agree.
Okay. Either way, I still think he did everything he could. And
Well,
he was
so
Yeah,
like he's like,
even
oh, he's like Simba in the Lion King, right? Like he needs to be king, right? Like he's at some point, if you have great power, you have a great responsibility to use that power for the betterment of others, right? And this is something that Arathon needs to learn, right? Like he needs to learn that it's
uh,
not always about him, hmm? And how he
mm,
feels. Sometimes you have to sacrifice yourself, and
that's
sacrificing
that's
yourself
not
may not necessarily be like entail being the self-flagellating person who's like, I'm the worst thing ever. I shall demonstrate myself as hopelessly incompetent so that you guys hate me or whatever.
That's not what they taught him in mage school, though. They taught him in mage school that every action has an equal and opposite reaction,
Hmm.
and if he kills, he will be killed. If he fights, he will be fought. He needs to
Yeah.
balance everything.
And as we know, the mages are the ones making the good decisions in these books.
Oh no, who would have thought that this bloodline thing we put on would bite us in the ass in the future?
It is funny because like every major decision they make in this book, I think turns out to be incorrect. And we get this like explicitly later where they're like, Dakar's like, you guys screwed over Lysair and he was a good guy. And then they're like, yeah, I guess we actually chose exactly the wrong brother for this.
Yep.
And
Yep.
now have abandoned both of them.
They also abandoned Dakar after his prophecy so quickly.
That's fair.
They're
I
mean
don't
to
like
Dakar.
If Luhane had been there to talk to them, so much of this like fated event would never have occurred.
Yeah, why did Luhane go away? Do we know?
Because Luhane was like, "Oh, a prophecy, gotta run."
Yeah, I think that's probably my big plot criticism. That seems like maybe a plot hole. Like where what? Maybe no. Okay, I'm not gonna say plot hole because it was brought up by the characters, and it might just be mysterious right now.
Yeah, it's not a plot hole. It's just a plot. It's a sorceress failing.
Yeah,
because they're
It's a
not
hole in the plot,
7,
isn't we
and
don't
and
understand
they
it.
keep pretending like they are 7, and they're not.
yeah. One is lost, and one is just a ginormous like he's like a douche. Is that a
Are
kosher
you
thing
talking
to
about
say on this podcast?
Caradmon?
No, I'm talking about Davian.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that guy. Don't forget, Traith is like crippled, so there's like a half
Traith is
person.
crippled. Traith is cool. I like Traith.
Traith is cool, but he can't talk over distance, and that
Yeah,
really bites them.
it does. And his Raven is not the most aware Raven in the world.
Traith is easily my favorite of the Fellowship after Dekar.
He's got strong Odin vibes, and I like Odin. So,
Yeah.
Dakar is not of the Fellowship though.
He's not, but he hangs out with them so much.
He's like salt and pepper and cumin. He's like cumin in this situation, or he's like the Ringo Starr of the group.
Who is?
The best, the best member of the
Who is
Beatles
like
is
human in this
Dakar.
group?
He's not even the best
Dakar?
soothsayer in the Fellowship. That's probably Davian. Yeah, I don't know. I don't like Dakar. He's like some
Probably is
calamitous
Davian.
events are going down, and then some guy's like, "Hey, you want a drink?" And then he's like, Why not?"
He just seems like he's a dude suffering, and he's dealing with it his own way. I think there's going to be a lot more to Dakar than just him being a drunk and.
I appreciate how he was calling out the Fellowship on being like totally using Lysair and in kind of a really unethical way.
Yeah, and like he has points of levity that I don't really see as much in the other members. So yeah, that's what I attached to with Dakar.
That's fair. I
Even though my
definitely think
initial my initial
impression.
what's the word? Thank you. Impression was very negative.
I'm not deeply annoyed by any of the characters so far.
Dakar just has a few more centuries to work on his moral distancing. It's fine. He'll get
I mean,
callous and cold eventually.
he's been alive for at least 500 years, right? Or
Yeah, but how long has Sethvir been around?
yeah, how long have these guys been around? That's a good
I
question.
think definitely at least 1,000 years.
It is funny to me how much they're willing
Ascendir's
to
made
work
every king of Rathane, right?
literally every kingdom. Yeah,
Literally
all of these
every
high
king.
kings, literally every king. He's king. Yeah, he's crowned all of them. Yeah. So these guys have been around for thousands of years. Absolutely. Yes. I think it's very funny how they're such slaves to prophecy. You know, like, we have to do this because of the prophecy. Prophecy, prophecy, prophecy. We have to take these actions. And then when one prophecy is just like kind of being fulfilled, they're like, we just have to let the chips fall where they may on this stuff on this one. And
Uh,
again, the wrong decision.
the major balance, man. The major
Major balance.
balance.
Yeah. The Paravians. We need the Paravians.
Yeah. We
Maybe
need
the
the
Paravians
Paravians.
went away because they were sick of the Fellowship. Did they ever think that?
That seems
I mean,
reasonable.
I think Davian is major cause.
Yeah.
Cause prime for why the Paravians went away. Davian.
But clearly, Davian had like a reason for this, right? So he probably had this
Yeah.
prophecy that he was also thinking of. He was like, the Paravians will all self-immolate if I don't ruin the world.
I don't know. Maybe he implanted the 5 core vibrations in himself, and he was endlessly just and compassionate and free-willed, and therefore ended the world as he knew it.
Yeah, so we have so far the bloodlines, they're attuned to Farsight, which both Lysair and Erathon are, because they both have a
The Hellas. Yeah.
Sahelis. Yeah, Sahelis. Um, obviously, Lysair is justice. for a very liberal definition of justice. Cephalin, which is compassion. And then there is one more, Solormin, which has
Oh.
temperance. So temperance is maybe the sexiest of all the virtues. I'm excited to see what this kid that we like this lost orphan that was being raised by like a shepherd is going to end up being like.
I have a question about justice. You said it's a very liberal definition of justice. I want to know what exactly their definition of justice is, because obviously it's been tainted by the curse,
By
right?
Deshtier, yeah.
Yeah, Deshtier, but they exercise Deshtier even though the curse is still around, right?
Hmm.
Yeah.
But like, what is his exact sense of justice? Because I don't quite understand it.
So it's built around, as I understand, like a sense of fairness. He is thinking that he needs to fairness and like kind of like equivalence. Like you need to address wrongs that are done and make
Yeah,
sure that.
that's but
Mhm.
like he kind of ignores the things done to, like, for example, the people in the cities versus the clans, or maybe children shouldn't have to suffer for their parents' stuff. Or
So
Well, he doesn't have the compassion. He says,
pre
these people that I am compassionate for, I want justice for them.
previous to him being corrupted by Deshtier, like I think he would agree that you need to take these things into account, and like he's actually explicitly says so.
yeah, he explicitly
um,
says so.
up
He
up
says
until he's
after
possessed,
he
basically.
yeah, after he meets
Yeah.
Arathon and the talking with the street urchin slave guys, and he's like, "Well, my worldview doesn't seem so clear anymore." And then seconds later, it's just like, "This
Yep.
guy must be
Then
stopped."
he erases that cognitive dissonance and says, "Nope, I
Yeah,
was
exactly.
fooled. Arathon tricked me the whole time. These
Yeah,
are all corrupted people who must be purged and brought to the light."
And so, like, I get
basically.
that. Like, that part was destroyed, and this weird, twisted sense of justice is left over. But
I
Mhm.
think part of it is built on legal codes. I
is it
think I
That's one
think
of
like?
them, yeah.
I think Lysair is more prone to follow the law of whatever like group of people he has brought himself within, and he was always more suited for fine society than the than the sweatshops.
Yeah, but like, for example, those people only exist because they forced out the old rulers into the wilderness, right?
Yeah, but
Yes,
that's
but
not the
but
law there anymore.
I'm saying, like, that's an injustice that's been ignored, and
it is an
Yeah,
well,
and he's very
he's
willing to
thinking that he
ignore.
needs to address that initially, right? But
yeah.
there's also been injustices committed since then by the clans, right? Like they start out with this guy holding them hostage unreasonably and threatening to murder Arathon, right? Um,
And
I
obviously
think
because of his past with his brother and their piracy, and he's obviously going to side with the, I guess, civilized
he
folk.
he thinks that Arathon is a fundamentally bad actor who will corrupt any system that he is in, right? And so this magical hatred that is driving him is causing him to interpret every situation to the maximum, like in in the worst possible light for Arathon. So
Yep.
yeah, like maybe these children are paid actors, or he just like grabbed them off the street and he's just been lying about everything. Like if you fundamentally lose trust in people, it's hard to arrive at a place where you can have empathy for them, right? And that's something you
Arathon
just
used
can't have
6
for him.
children as bait. Now let's murder a couple hundred.
Yeah, it's like this is his fault because he's doing this. Like he knew what would happen. It's on his head, you know?
Yep. Look what you made me do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And as the narrative says, like previously, Arathon would not have done. Lysair would not have done this, but it's for the greater
Eh,
good.
I'm a little bit more torn on that one.
You
I
think that he would
just
have sanctioned child murder?
I do.
I don't think
I
so. I
honestly
hardly
do.
disagree with that one.
yeah, I do not agree. I hope in future installments we get a better look at his sense of justice, and maybe he can apply it to other people who aren't necessarily allied. Obviously, I think anybody who's allied with Arathon, he might not be so
He will be
just.
driven to oppose whoever is allied with Arathon. Yeah.
But I would like to see maybe him take that sense of justice to people that maybe he's not allied with, as long
I,
as
I
not
would
with Arathon.
we get like a flash of that with how he stops the Pesquill and his headhunters from just raping all these women.
Yeah, I suppose. And he
Not a
still
very
kills them.
good look.
No.
He still kills them, yes, but like he kills them quote cleanly, which I think is like
Ever so
that
slightly
is a
better.
moment where he legitimately stands up for his beliefs.
It's a moment where he stands up for his beliefs, but it's also a moment where he grandstands about his morality.
Well, he's going to continue doing that. I hope you're excited. Every book of the series is going to grandstand about morality.
I mean, he's
Absolutely.
an excellent grandstander. That's part of his thing.
Yeah, he's that's his big gift, right? Like
Yep.
he's extremely good at diplomacy with people and as seeming like a shining champion of justice.
I really like how Arathon was his downfall was part of his own fault, and that after he gets decided to be king, he just kind of ducks out of all of his diplomatic
Responsibilities.
talks. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they're automatically drawn to his brother, who's much better at it. And then once they get the only opportunity they have to overthrow what they have, they take it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah, this is a huge failing on Arathon's part, I think. This is
If
like
he
his
was only
critical.
just a little bit diplomatic, he probably would not be in the situation he was.
Yeah. I
I,
think it's legitimately him being
but he
selfish.
can't be. He can't be diplomatic with these child murderers.
That's the
He
thing,
has
like
to
that
say what they're doing.
when he talks about that, like I couldn't help but be on his side. I'm like, yeah, you should just kill them all.
And the
Kill them
Fellowship
all.
was like, hey, we've seriously considered just nuking the city from orbit and then
Mhm.
fixing it afterwards. Itara can't be saved. And then they're like, well, maybe if we just, tried to pull a real fast one on the city and gave them a king without their consent, knowledge, forethought, anything, if we just pulled a real fast bait and switch and did a succession and a coronation, all under threats of violence, murder, and imprisonment, then this will
I
all go
love that.
swimmingly.
I love that
And
scene, and it almost worked too.
It
it
almost worked.
got very close to working. But like, come on, guys. That's your plan. That's your huge sorceress took centuries to figure out plan.
I mean, I
What do you
think that
if it
it
wasn't for Desh the Ear, it would have worked.
it would have worked. Yeah, that's the or like like the Marshas of our protagonists, right? Like if Lysair and Arathon had been less flawed in the ways that they were, then it would have also worked. Like
Yeah, and
I
whose flaws are whose fault is that?
yeah.
Well, I'll tell you where the
Um
Coriani are going to put the blame, and I don't blame them.
Nope. Something at the end of this book, the Coriani sounds like feels so much better than the Fellowship for some reason.
it is funny to me how well sorry, actually I think one point that Lysair brings up, and I think it's a very pertinent point, is like, okay, Arathon, you are focusing on these individual people. You are not focusing, as he says, on the system that leads to them being in this situation. So Lysair, at least at that point in the story, he's more focused on fixing the system that he sees as broken. And he doesn't necessarily think that what we should be doing is just kind of murdering people until the situation is solved. Which I think
And
is
Arathon
I think
said,
is the correct answer, actually.
I
no,
disagree. I
no,
think if they got children in slavery, you should just kill the people putting the children in slavery.
agreed.
But
Arathon says there's no guarantee that I can change this system. There's no guarantee that these people will allow me to act so far against their own self-interest. So I'm just going to go and free the slaves.
sure, like, but maybe that's the correct answer. Sure, just free the slaves and then deal with it later. I'm a big fan of not having slavery, um,
Doesn't
but
sound
it's
like
not.
it.
It's not
Doesn't
like
sound
all
like
of
it.
the
Sounds like you're
citizens of
pushing
Atara are
for the
doing this, right?
extension of
Like
slavery.
imagine living in a society where perhaps the system is not all it's cracked up to be, but not every
Huh.
citizen in that society deserves just just unmitigated like the capital punishment, right? Like perhaps the true perpetrators of this system are the are the ones at the top rather than maybe the farmer that is coming to the market to sell his squash.
So you're saying that Trace should have, instead of putting all the people in the hall to sleep, should have just killed them all?
Um, I think that's what you're saying, but uh, I don't know what should have been. I think it should have been dealt with over the course of perhaps more than a couple days. And if Arathon had succeeded in being crowned king, that this maybe could have been done. You know, like I think I think that
I think
either if
even if he'd been
Erathon or
crowned king, he
Lysair,
would have been a king in exile.
yeah, I think it
Yeah.
would have been fine actually, because he has
Mm.
magical protection from the 5 most competent people in the world.
At least the five most powerful sorcerers in the world.
Whenever they when they feel like it.
When they feel like it, when they don't have to all 5 of them go on a quest to put a jar in a mountain.
Um, since we're talking about it, I will say that I adored that scene where they met in the alley, and then the follow-up scene where Lysair meets with Elira, and they speak about these big ideas, so to speak.
Yeah, maybe it's not worth it, but let's see what I highlighted something from that.
I like every Elira scene in this book, to be clear.
Um,
I really like
okay,
the one where
Lysair
they
says,
delve into her mind and meet Lysair and Erathon, even though I still think it's a little bit forced that like she has
bit
such a
forced, yeah.
strong connection with Erathon. Like, really? Okay.
They look at each other and they're
It's
kindred souls.
magic, buddy.
I can understand like her being interested. I mean, he's basically amazing at everything, and
He is. He
soon,
is. Yeah.
soon to be the best at sex in the world. If what I hope happens next book happens next book.
Listen,
Look,
he's
sex and
learning his
music, they're not
fingerings from
different.
Halloran. Lysair says, Erathon takes unconscionable risks, looking for pearls among beggars. I prefer the simpler reality, that the means to uplift the unfortunate are better controlled from the council chamber. A man can feed the hungry and clothe beggars all his life and not change the conditions that make them wretched. Which is, I think itself, a narrative that has gained a lot of popularity lately. Perhaps what you should do is change the system rather than punish individuals or reward individuals.
Sure. Yeah. Change the system. Don't free the slaves.
I don't think that's what he's saying. I don't think that's what he's saying at all. What he's saying is that
But it is the functional difference between them. It is what actually happened.
it. Well, we don't know what Lysair would have done absent actual possession, right?
Sure.
Like he talks about
He's
Diadem of
only
Fist.
he's only being forced to hate his brother. He's not being forced to hate all people.
Well, what happens when the wraith is removed from the exorcism is botched, right? So untold damage has been done to Lysair. We don't know what exactly that entails.
Yep.
I think what's happened is that his all of the point where he like kicks a dog, right? I think all of those things are results of the exorcism being totally ruined.
I I will quibble there with you and say that part of it might very well have been done before the ruin of the exorcism. There was just no way to detect it until then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, like the wraith did damage to him of kind. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely.
I will freely admit that the exorcism made things worse, but that could have always been part of Destier's plan as well.
Just like every intervention the Fellowship has made.
It made things better in one way, but worse in another. Better in one way, worse in another.
He's not possessed by a wraith anymore, but he doesn't need to be.
Yep. The work is done.
I
And they're
think
like,
that what
well,
Ascendier
maybe
and
we'll
Fethir
fix
should
it in the
do.
next generation.
Yeah, maybe, yeah, exactly. That's fine. They should they should do is they should give themselves nice bonuses. I think they failed,
They,
but
they
they were
deserve it.
also the top dogs. So
Yeah,
I think they need to do an M&M.
yeah. All the people below them suffer because of their decisions, but since they can pat themselves on the back for what they did do.
yeah, they had good
The
intentions.
Yeah.
the the after action morbidity for them was too high, and they need to do a review of their process.
We reviewed ourselves and we found ourselves free of blame.
Yeah.
Uh,
Like I appreciate the Coriani existing just as like the most rudimentary of counterbalances to them, even though clearly they are like totally outclassed.
yeah, yeah, they are. They watch everything, but most of their effect seems to be diplomatic and economic, right? Which
I
it
think
would be great if the Fellowship could have some more of that.
I think it's fun. There's like this moment where Dakar's like, you guys really messed up here," and then Caradmon says, "No, your prince answered circumstance according to his innate character. The Fellowship imposed nothing outside his natural will and intentions." This is just how they like totally excuse themselves of responsibility. It's fine. He had free will, whatever that means in this in this world.
What does that mean? Like, as soon as Dakar shouts his prophecy, which we still don't know what he actually said.
We have no idea,
Uh,
and I find that one of the most annoying parts of this book because I assumed I was going to get it at some point, and I didn't.
Arathon might brood on it later or something. It probably has implications for this whole series.
Oh, I mean, probably, but also probably already over.
Maybe.
let's pretend that this doesn't have an author and this actually happened in the real world. Was there ever actually a chance that they didn't meet?
In the real world, yeah. Um, you know, Arathon, don't go to the coronation square. Ara- Let Dakar get your eyes on him before you start setting wards against his exit.
This is the most obnoxious part of Car. Like he walks up to the door, is like, I put a lock on it, and then like walks away satisfied with himself. No problems here. Like even if there wasn't like a bolt hole in that, surely there's a window.
Surely he could have just gone inside and said, "Hey, I just had a prophecy. You must not see your brother for an hour."
Yeah, I mean, Lysair might have just been like, "You're fooling me, you Fellowship sorcerer."
I mean, at least then Dakar could be like, "Oh, hey, binding spell.
Yeah, I mean, I
Go
think
to
it
sleep now."
is. I think it's nice that even when he's possessed, there is like a character to Lysair. He's not like completely overtaken. Like he helps this like elderly woman cross the street on his way to confronting Arathon, right?
Yeah, I remember that. Oh, shiny boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's just so effortlessly
charismatic.
he's charismatic, virtue signaling, whatever you want to call it. He is a showboat.
They're
He's a
not
showboat.
mutually exclusive.
And
Yeah.
and the world conspires to make him such.
It does.
Uh,
I don't
like when
mind.
he
I
gets
don't mind
caught in the
him.
flood, he survives, going valiantly down. His horse come killed from underneath him, his collarbone shattered, and like a gash in his arm. But don't worry, he put on a brave face and he wanted to go forward and wins the respect of these callous headhunters.
I mean, like to me, I think there's a likability to that. And like he's totally sincere
Of
with
course,
this.
there's a likability about it. That's the point.
Yeah. Yeah. But like for the readers as well as the people
Oh, I
in the
hate it.
narrative, right?
I hate it as a reader. I hate it as a
Mhm.
reader.
I think he's like 100% genuine and sincere. And then this is kind of getting corrupted a little bit when he's like he's telling lies now, right? Like but it's okay because it's for the greater good. Um I think there's like still like you can, I think what makes Lysair compelling to me is that you can still make out a good man underneath this that's been twisted by these forces and partially because of, like he obviously wasn't a flawless person at the start of the book either.
Did you notice how the ways that his love interest is interested in him are just ways that he isn't abusive or
Um,
isn't immediately abusive?
I don't know if I would frame Lysair as like an abusive person, but at least
No,
not
no,
this
no, no.
juncture.
I'm saying Ataran men are abusive.
Oh, yeah, Tara is like comically evil, right? Like
Yes.
the there are like lines where like the apprentices of each of these guilds capture and torture each other for like
Yep. Yep.
ridiculous reasons. Um,
For trade secrets, yeah. And
the
it's not the
the
apprentices of each guild capturing each other. It's each guild capturing the other one's apprentices.
This inveigling is worse than the feud ongoing between the ironmongers and the furniture joiners, who captured and tortured each other's apprentices to blackmail concessions for trade secrets.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do the furniture joiners and ironmongers compete over?
I mean nails.
Maybe, yeah. That's a good point.
Fasteners, hinges.
Oh, just so fun. Like this is like the most petty possible, like totally ruined by guilds kind of system, right? Like there's totally mercantile, bad, not good. Like I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of people will read this and be like, capitalism evil. This is guild systems evil, and those are not strictly the same thing.
Greed evil.
I mean it can be both. It can be both of them.
But like the manifestations of this terribleness are because guild, right? Like
Eh,
y- I think the worst parts of this are like
the
medieval guild system rather than modern
slavery has
day
nothing to do with the guilds.
corporations. Yeah, that's slavery is just a perpetual evil of humanity, I think. Yeah.
Okay. Um, but I would argue that they are capitalism and slavery go hand in hand.
I I mean, slavery predates capitalism by like a long time, right?
It may be the formalized concept, sure,
Not
but
what
free labor is free labor.
Free labor is free labor, and often exploited by systems that aren't capitalist.
Sure.
Yeah. Like Rome was not a capitalist system. Rome
I'm
sure had a lot of slaves. Also, look at Sparta.
okay.
Sparta
This is
was slave
this is not the
fighting
time for me
history.
to argue about microcapitalism.
Um, I like the analysis of character that Moriel makes of Erathon. I highlight it, so I'll read it out. For Lysair's sense of justice and farsight will answer to logic and therefore be reconciled by compromise. But since when can compassion ever be made to condone pain? Sahalis' blood gives Erathon full grasp of cause and effect. Mage training compounds this with awareness of the forward reactions of power. These traits aligned against the Cephalan gift of sympathetic empathy cancels the mind's self-defenses. The shelter of petty hatred becomes untenable. Erathon is a visionary placed at a nexus of responsibility. Deshthier's curse will embroil him in violence he can neither escape nor master. Stress will prove his undoing, for the sensitivities of poets have ever been frail, and the broadened span of his thinking shall but inflame and haunt him to madness.
Erathon's
I-
mind cannot take power. Just can't.
yeah,
Can't take
he's
power without crushing pain. And unless he is a saint, unless he is an utter saint, he will go mad. And Elira's like,
even
but
if
I
he
think he's a
is a
saint.
saint. Even if he is a saint, I think he gets ruined, right? Like, because he's still like, oh, the
Oh, he is.
pain that I
Oh,
cause everyone by my mere existence.
he can be ruined. He can be ineffectual. He can be pained. He can be tortured for eternity and his entire life. But I think what he won't turn into is a complete raving madman.
Maybe not. Yeah.
I think there's a realm of utter insanity which is beyond him because he is too strong to break to it.
That reminds me of the beginning of the book. He was subject to I'm fine calling it torture, although mostly it was drug induced what
That was torture.
coma or
It
It
was
wasn't
torture.
intentional torture, but I think it's
You
torturous
don't
to be that extreme. Yeah.
you don't get to excuse torture just because it was necessary to like bring in a fugitive criminal
I think that's probably debatable,
or
but we can agree that
you
this was
have
a
deemed it
torturous
as such.
circumstance, right?
Sure, but you don't get to not call it torture.
well,
I-
my point is at the beginning of the book, I kept asking, why is this happening? Why is so much emphasis being placed on the fact that he survived and overcame these things that he shouldn't have had done without his mind breaking, so to speak. Um, and I guess it was to show us just how powerful his mind is and
Yeah,
how much he can withstand such things and how far he has to go before he breaks, which is I guess we have that to look forward to.
I think we see over and over again just how much just how much his mage training did to him. Oh, for sure, we're going to see moments where he breaks.
Yeah.
Even saints break.
I
But
agree he will put himself back together because this is a story.
yes, yes. Oh, it would be hilarious though if the final book was just like some
Lysair
completely new
wins.
protagonists. No, 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 no. Lysair and Arathon, both complete stark raving mad, and their children trying to just kind of like jostle the country around to a position where they both kill each other and not the rest of the continent.
Hmm. Yeah. I would be interested. I don't imagine that they will be the driving. Sorry, I think they'll be driving force behind the narrative. I don't think that they will be the core protagonists all the way through.
I kind of hope not. It's 11 books.
I have a different theory. Um, and I do hope that they change up the core protagonists. But my theory is that this war of light and shadow is definitely not going to be constrained to just this world. Uh,
Yeah, I would buy that it would affect
I,
the Splinter
I
worlds as well.
I think at one point someone's going to go off into either a splinter world or is there a more prime world? Is there like a heavenly realm or
That
something?
the
I don't know.
Paravians have fled to. Actually, yeah, there is.
Yeah.
There is. Like it's like a plane of this is also specified in the glossary, by the way. I don't remember where it is, but yeah, there is a place where it's more closer to paradise.
Yeah. Okay.
I think in terms of like the material world, this is the best it will get, and all the splinter worlds are kind of like
Okay.
they flow down. They're
Okay.
downstream.
Okay. And that's why Dawson Allure only had a couple islands.
Yeah,
Okay.
and like a very simplified political, like all these political problems are much simpler there. When
Yeah.
you like look back into your childhood, like the thing is, life was so much simpler then. Well, for Erathon and Lysair, it really was.
Yeah. Every time that Lysair recounted the political situations of Dawson Illur, I was like, okay, so you're saying that these people were poor, desperate, starving, had no farmland, and you still couldn't kill them all because they were evil. Because they were
Yeah,
evil and tricksy.
exactly.
Because they led us onto sandbars. And I'm like,
We burned all their villages, and they just kept coming back like rats.
yeah, yeah. I don't want to count up the war crimes in this book, but
Quite a few.
They're definitely war crimes. Yeah, absolutely. And
I'm
not
pr-
What
I'm
just
pretty sure
restricted to
one of the
Lysair's side, but
I'm
like
pretty sure
primarily
one of the
vegetable stuff.
headhunters had like a banned knife by the Geneva Conventions,
I probably.
the kind that twists as it goes in, so it makes a much harder to suture wound.
Also illegal to use child combatants, which the clans are happy to do. And they
Uh,
in fact insist on doing it.
they do insist on doing it because they have 900 men against 10,000.
Yes. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah, like necessity, right?
yeah.
You can excuse moral failings in the face of necessity.
In face of genocide, maybe a little bit.
is something necessary always good?
I mean, is something that's going to result in the survival of some children instead of the massacre of them all good?
Well, unfortunately, you don't have to deal with that because all the children, in fact, died.
Not all of them.
Yeah,
Not all of them.
One lived,
yeah,
literally
yeah.
One
one,
lived.
and he's like 14, so he's not even a child by their standards, anyways.
Arguably by our standards.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
don't know.
mean, there's
If you
definitely
slit
been
a man's
14-year-olds
throat,
tried
are
as
you really a
adults.
child anymore?
No, it's just at the point we call him a teenager, which is both a child and not a child.
Yeah, I am a big fan of the distinction between child and teenager.
I'm not. Um,
Mm,
I am a fan of the distinction between child and adolescent.
what's the
Which is
distinction for you there?
what is it like pre and
And
post?
teenagers like set on a year range. And I'm not fine about that.
Oh,
Oh, so
sure.
like
Some people hit puberty
child
faster.
and ephebe.
Oh God. Yeah. Yeah. Sure. Fine.
I mean, it's always worth noting, I think, that like previously we had children and adults, and the distinction made here previously was not, oh, you hit the age of 18, you're now an adult. It was you hit like if you're a girl, then you had your first period, boom, you're a woman, full adult. Um, if you're a man, like
Have your first kill.
14, 15, yeah, like when you pass the rite of like the rite of passage ceremony. So we're much more kind to young people than we used to be.
Sure. Yay, neoteny.
What is that word?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, Neoteny is the trait of a species to maintain childlike traits in further into their lifespan.
Huh.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, not having our children start smoking at the age of 9 really helps them look youthful longer.
Don't forget the lead.
Yeah, or leaded gasoline.
And it generally correlates with increased intelligence.
That makes sense. Your brain gets developed properly for longer.
Yep.
You're not looking at the nice smelling paint or nice tasting paint. Um,
But it's so
all right.
salty and sweet.
Tastes so good. Do we have anything else we want to talk about for this book before we wrap up?
I had a question.
Mhm.
Says, why do I want to praise Arathon for his faults and hate Lysair for his, despite neither being their choice?
So I I think this is what we do with people anyways,
Self-knowledge.
right? Self-knowledge, which itself was not Arathon's choice or Lysair's choice, actually. This was also
Nope.
imposed on
No,
them
it was
by
not.
the various ways they were nurtured. Yeah, I think this is just how we judge humans in the first place. You know, I don't think that there is a meaningful distinction between what's happened with Lysair and Arathon and what happens with children in our world.
I think it's because of how much they are willing to bear the cost themselves, the
They're
actual
both willing to bear
cost,
the
the
cost themselves.
investigated cost.
Uh,
And the way that
Elaborate.
the way that Lysair is able to have these moments where he recognizes that his morality or system is in error and then just not go further with it is incredibly frustrating to me.
He's more willing to compromise
Bullshit.
and to so as Moriel says, actually, like his sensibilities will bow quicker to logic, and logic can itself be motivated, right? And Arathon is
Yep.
not willing to compromise.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Lysair,
I think that
Lysair
both of
can
these
much more easily be convinced that, oh, it's slavery is okay. It's just going to be a few more years. then we'll get rid of it. We promise.
I think that's probably what's going to end up happening. Yes. Um,
I don't
but
think that's going to end up happening.
both of these traits can be good and they can be bad, right? Like you could like there's a world where Arathon just kind of screws off and leaves everyone to their own devices and doesn't take action to make the world a better place. And there's a world where Lysair actually fairly listens to people's problems and adjudicates a form of justice that we would consider fair and definitely better than what was happening before, right? I don't think that we're going to see this because of the tragic nature of the series, but I think it's for like seeable. I think you could consider that reality and that reality be valid.
I don't know. It seems like even in the best of times, the Celested Gift was often seeking justice where, quote, it can't be found.
Or maybe it can't be found. Right. Maybe the concept of justice is fundamentally flawed and not even
Yeah,
worth striving towards as an ideal. I don't think I'm quite that far. I think that even if you can't attain something, then it's worth trying to. Yeah.
I think it's because I see Arathon's faults as more humanizing, especially as something in myself, and I don't value justice nearly as much as I value empathy. So even though I see both as just products of their environment and literal magic, um, I see righteousness in one and uh, humility and humanity in the other.
yeah. I mean, I'm definitely more for humility than I am for self-righteousness.
I get annoyed with Arathon more than I get annoyed with Lysair. I think Lysair is probably at this point definitely a worse person and probably started out as a worse person than Arathon. But I
Can you
get
even
very
say
annoyed with
that
how
though? Because like
huh?
this is literally a result of being cursed.
Oh, can I say that
But
one of
those,
them is a better person?
Yeah, I mean,
One
I
one of them
either
is doing
one.
worse things, I'll say.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could definitely agree with that. I'm just like, how much blame could you place on either of them for their actions or interactions?
one of the worst things you can say about Lysair is that he has no more free will. That everything that he has been known and planned for in advance by the Mistwraith.
Well, Mistwraith and the Fellowship, right?
They didn't plan to do what they did to him exactly.
Not exactly,
They were
but
like,
pretty
"Well,
close.
I guess we got to go ahead with this exorcism anyways, even
But
though
not
we
just the
haven't triple
exorcism,
checked
but
it."
the their lineage curse.
Yeah, they did
Yes,
the lineage curse. They did the setup at the start when they're like, it's Lysair that's going to be afflicted by Deshthier's curse rather than Arathon.
they
Um,
let them go outside Ithamon.
I mean, another big problem is with this is that Lysair doesn't have any like no one's telling him these things. They tell Arathon everything, and then Arathon also just has the ability to see these things for himself because of his
Because he all
training.
got training,
Right? Yeah,
which
but like
Lysair didn't get.
none of the Fellowship sorcerers are having a conversation with him, and then he's like, "I'm gonna kill Arathon," and they're like, "Well, we have nothing to talk about now." They don't even bother trying to say, "This is a Gias that's been imposed on you, Lysair," and he even thinks at the end that like I. I kind of feel different. Like he has a little bit of self reflection, right? I feel different. I don't necessarily know why I did this kind of like apocalyptic effort to kill Arathon. That's kind of weird, isn't it? Um, Maybe if he had a helpful advisor, then it would have been better, you know? Like he can team up with like Luhane or something, and Luhane can be like, please stop being evil, Lysair, and then maybe Lysair would eventually listen.
I wish that Lysair had killed himself.
For the series or for like your sense of
Eh.
justice.
I wish that his sense of suicidality had persisted instead of being tempered by his near death experience.
Damn, that's ruthless.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is ruthless, but he doesn't feel like a person anymore. He feels like an extension of the Wraith's will.
I wouldn't go quite that far, I think. But it's mysterious what exactly.
I believe that one shouldn't go that far, but these are my feelings.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Oh, another thing I think that why I tend to not want to blame Arathon as much is because he suffers a lot more for
I
what
don't know
he's
if I
done.
agree with that. I think they both suffer. I think they both suffer very
Mm,
much
I disagree hard.
for
I,
different
I
for
think
different reasons.
I think that scene near the end after the battle and we're following the path of Arathon after he's putting down these people in the
Putting the
the
dead to rest.
descriptive the descriptive way that it's told to us is just heartbreaking. Like I said, I didn't really emotionally get too close to this book, but that part really killed me.
Arathon has 600 extra points in empathy. He can't suffer less than Lysair.
I can agree with that. I think, yeah. I mean, like
Lysair has
physically, they
no
both
idea
suffer a
of the
lot.
depths. Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Arathon often doing it to himself, though,
Er, yes, I think
in order to
performatively
save
in a
other
lot of
people.
ways. Like when he was like doing his like his moping and making himself seem useless so that they would reject him. Like I
You
think
mean
this
his
is
convalescence?
no, not his convalescence. When he was
That
already
was
he had
convalescence.
convalesced, and then he was like, I have to make sure that they don't want to follow me as leader.
There was no point after his ride out of Atara that he was convalesced. I'm sorry.
I disagree. Like that would be a
There
hard
was
journey, but I think like a couple days would be
no
enough to fix
point.
that.
Yeah,
I think
and
a
then he
couple
went
days.
into then he poisoned
No,
himself.
there was more of a time between that. Yeah,
There wasn't that much of a time.
I think it was a few weeks. I think it was. Yeah.
I wasn't listening. I was just preparing for when I want to raid. I have no idea what she's talking about.
Dude was collapsing and he pushed himself to the edge of his reserves. He spent all of his sorcery. He was collapsed.
This is not how he thinks of it, at least, or as they just present it. Okay, the clansmen dam like some significant river in this time. If they manage that in a couple days, they deserve to win the war for sure because of their logistical efficiency.
It really doesn't take all that much time for a snowmelt river to build up a significant amount of water behind a dam.
You have to build the dam first, though.
You do have to build a dam first, but if there's a ton of trees in the area, easier than you might think.
They communed with
Just
nature,
kidding.
and the beavers aided them.
Lots of pitch, lots of trees, lots of sledges and horses. I guess you can build a dam real fast. And not just one dam, it was multiple, right?
It was multiple, yes.
Yeah.
They got 2 entire divisions drowned with it. Well, sorry, 1 entire division and a quarter of the next, and then they shot the rest of the second.
Okay.
I want to share a few few sentences from that part that I just spoke about. For the dead did not welcome intervention, but shrank from Arathon in stark fear. He was more than their killer. He was a master who had betrayed them on levels they had no conscious means to guard. To bind them long enough to free them, he had to expose them all that he was. He had to lower his defenses and let them shriek curses to his face. He had to endure their pain, let them hurt him in turn until his passivity left them mollified and quiet. And when the blessing of the Paravian release let them go, the peace they took with them was not shared. Arathon looked desolate and haunted, and remorse had stolen even tears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's suffering more.
He suffers way more. He suffers way more. He has true empathy. And
He's like
that
Sokka
sucks.
from Avatar, you know? Like he's going to experience a life of great hardship, most of it self-inflicted. You can just see it on his face.
You can
I
just see it
think
on
he
his
likes
face, and
it.
that's why
I think he's
Lyra fell in love with
comforted by
him.
his own suffering. I don't think he would know what to do with himself if he was happy.
I mean, he wouldn't be himself. He
He
wouldn't be
would
Sahalen.
let's say his dream comes true. He's just like a bard that's traveling the country, and then like he's the best there ever was, and he does his music. Um, well, I think what would happen is he would like see like a suffering child and be like, ah, that child is the child of us all, and we have all failed that child. And then he thinks about like the innumerable other ones that are suffering elsewhere in the world, and he's like, I'm torturing myself over these children. Oh no. I mean, like, I think with
He's
enforced
got the
empathy, like,
power.
where does it stop? It doesn't stop, right? Like no matter how powerful he gets, he is not going to be able to fix all the suffering in the world. And I think he will be equally as unhappy
Correct.
with, yeah.
And that's what makes him such a
I
good
don't know
bard.
about equally unhappy because I do think he's actually able to quantify the suffering that he experiences. And although, it might still be infinite, there's levels of infinity.
I think in terms of his own suffering, it's probably about equivalent. So whether or not this is a virtue, I think is extremely debatable because as we've said over and over again, he didn't choose this. It's literally forced on him. Even in this world where free will exists, like he has to.
Are you of the mind that virtues are only virtues if they're chosen, and that
I
people who have to suffer for the goods that they do are more virtuous than people who don't?
um
Oh wow, you
That's
could
not
have almost been talking about Farseer there.
this doesn't apply to me because I don't I don't conform to a view of humanity where free will is a thing, right? So like it's all the same. I just see like I think there's good people and there's bad people. Sorry, there. I mean that's the simplistic thing way to say it. But there's definitely people that are morally less pure for no reason, no fault of their own. But that doesn't change the fact that they are just worse people, right? And sometimes you can actually even point it to a specific thing like a brain tumor that's making them act this way.
Yeah, or a lack of mirror neurons.
Yeah. Or some so like certain deficiencies, or like they had faced extreme abuse as a child, and their brain is literally different because of this, right? Just how humans are.
Yep.
Um, I want to read one last thing from Arathon's perspective. He had acted
Oh,
outside of.
no, about Hurin's thing. I have one more thing
Okay.
to say. Uh, that quote Hurin, I took to understand that eventually he's going to have necromantic powers, and he's going to use them as a full-on war necromancer.
His
I really
optics
like
aren't
that.
good.
I hope that happens.
I would love if that happened. Like, can you imagine? Like, the Master of Shadow has raised an army of the dead to assail us.
Yeah, yeah.
Great for Lysera's propaganda campaigns. Which honestly, everything Arathon has done has been great for Lysera's propaganda campaigns.
I
um,
mean, seriously,
yeah,
seriously.
that would be like Gene Wolf level
One
foreshadowing.
one of them needs a PR rep, and one of them could be a PR rep.
Yeah, he could be Arathon's PR rep. Like, if they were just working together, they could accomplish amazing things, right? But now they can never
Yeah.
work together because
It's
they
almost like they complement each other so well because they have an
light and
abundance, but
dark.
what the other one's lacking.
Yeah, yin yang, man.
Excuse me, light and shadow. Shadow is so much better than dark.
It's true.
Ooh, I like having vision. I like being able to. Science wouldn't exist without light, right?
I think he's
Yeah.
just talking about Arathon versus Lysair.
He had acted outside of greed or self-interest, had to the letter of obligation fulfilled his bound oath to the Deshans. Duty did not cleanly excuse which lives should be abandoned to loss, or which should be taken to spare others. Stephen's clansmen, last survivors of savage persecution, or Pesquill's headhunters, still heated from their spree of unlicensed rapine and rapine and slaughter. No answer satisfied. No law insisted that justice stay partnered by mercy. It is probably insightful on Aethon's part. Justice and mercy may not necessarily be the same thing, or may not
No,
entail the same
often
actions.
counterpoints.
Yeah. And how do you reconcile the two? It's difficult. I think you probably only can do so through compromise and imperfectly, because there's definitely such thing as too much mercy, right? And obviously too much justice.
I don't know if there's such a thing as too much justice, because
Overzealous fixation on
it
justice,
might
let's say.
become injustice if you have too much, right? By definition.
Maybe. But you can
I
perfect
think it
justice,
kind of
let's say.
depends on what you mean by justice, and I think justice means
For
different
sure it
things to
does.
different people. But I think justice is also just an ideal that is kind of impossible, but we still strive for it because it's good to.
Hey, that sounds familiar.
But what if everyone just strove for mercy instead?
That reminds me of Discworld. So earlier I wanted to bring this up, uh, but the conversation between Arathon and Lysair about freeing the children or working within the system reminds me of Hogfather, which is my most read Discworld book, because when Susan is talking about her grandfather who is Death, she says, "What would Death do if everybody in the world were starving?" And said he would just make everybody a meal, and one of the characters said, "Well, that's insane because it's not going to work because blah 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 blah." And she's like, "Yeah, but that's what makes sense to him. He just needs to get everybody a meal, and that's it." So
Yeah.
in this, Arathon's death.
Yeah, he's the give a man a fish type person.
I don't know, but I feel like Death could actually give everyone a meal, and Arathon can't.
Yeah,
As of this moment, maybe eventually he'll make everybody shadow meals that perfectly sustain them. Who knows what
He'll attune to
shadowmancy can do in the
the
future?
vibrations. Yeah,
Ooh, that would be interesting if there was a world with vibrations that just automatically sustained you.
that seemed to be what the Paravians lived off of,
It does kind
right?
of, doesn't it?
Like the unicorns. So the glossary says
Maybe
that
maybe
the
they're solar
prime
powered.
vibration of the world is channeled through the unicorn's horns.
Oh, oh,
that
Yeah.
sounds really
okay.
sexy.
Uh, yeah, absolutely. Probably good vibration. By the way, the Sun Children are basically pixies. So
Okay.
that's our question from last episode wrapped up
I
again by reading the glossary.
see. I'm glad they're not actually children. Other, that's why I didn't include them in my sex joke earlier.
That's very forward thinking of you.
Yeah. I mean,
Um,
I was kind of imagining them as pixies anyways, so.
yeah, right. I actually was quite emotionally invested in this book, and I don't know. I got pretty sad when all those boys and girls and women got slaughtered. That was yeah, that felt terrible to
Who?
me.
I don't remember what happened. Can you remind me?
Yeah. Pasquale is like he's such a terrible person. But
Yeah.
it also felt very
Yeah.
believable to me. You know, like this is how
Oh, that
people
person
this is how some
exists.
people work.
That person
Yeah, that person
exists.
exists.
Definitely
Yes.
exists.
And this is why too much mercy is definitely a thing. Right.
And also, Nudsog exists too, right?
Woodstock. Yeah. Fortunately, he's
He
dead.
was the guy who stopped being a headhunter because he liked it too much.
Yeah. Like I and this book is like really brutal. Like they kill these small boys and they scalp them, you know? And
Yep.
they're going to do the same to the women and children.
Yep.
That
And they
was
said
actually really hard for me to read.
they don't change the fee for a girl scalp versus a guy scalp.
Like
Yeah.
if anybody's evil in this world, it's the headhunters, right?
Pascal decides to get it, deserves to get his balls cut off and force fed to his mouth.
I would agree with that.
If
Yeah.
you know, you know.
I really don't want any more life for him in this world that's longer than it has to be. So I just want him dead instantly.
That'd be nice. But it's also
Just
understandable why they exist, right? Like this is not
oh
a this
sure,
is not yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
But I
because
don't
there
have
are
time to torture
definitely
him. I want him blasted off the face of existence.
yeah. Like these clans are like they're noble for the most part, but they also have people that are real jerks in them and probably have killed people unjustly. And also they steal from people, which as Lysair thinks about, like if you take like a farmer's entire livelihood, he's probably just gonna starve to death anyways. You've just killed him, right? And the clans probably have not thought very hard about this because they also hate the townsmen. So
Yeah, they're
genuine
both
moral
they're both
complexity, but like
yeah.
the clans are clearly more virtuous, I think, than at least the guild leaders of the towns.
Just like
The
the Cephalin are, in my opinion, much more virtuous as pirates.
as pirates, I don't know if I agree with
I
that.
don't think we know enough about to make any judgments on that.
Oh,
I
that's
think I
true.
just
Yeah,
want to be on their side because it seems like, especially at the beginning of the book, the narrator was on their side.
the narrator I think is definitely on their side. I think it's probably
They
true
had
that
they had no land.
I think that people like Arathon will think about the outcasts, and Lysair will think about everyone else, right? Like he will think about the ordinary people, and that's where his mind goes most often. Is like, what about the farmer that wants to have his sheep
No,
graze? You know,
Lysair does not think about the ordinary people. Lysair thinks about the ordinary, well-to-do people.
like the middle class. You know, like the salt of the earth people. I think he thinks about.
Yep. Yep.
Okay,
He
great.
thinks about the women who have multiple changes of clothes and one for when they're feeling fancy, and they wear it to market.
But I think that's implied that that's most of the people in this world, right?
No, I don't think it is.
No. And so
No.
we even get it. We even get a section where like, okay, there are the
Uh,
riots on the streets, right? Most of the people are inside. Who the people who are outside are the ones that are like left behind or forgotten by society, which includes people like thugs or whatever, but also orphans, right? I think Arathon is the one that is thinking about those types of people. Lysair is thinking about the ones that are inside.
I think most importantly, though, Lysair is thinking of the people who are inside the guild hall.
I think he doesn't like those ones. I think we get enough of like him actively disliking that system, but willing to work within it. And that maybe that's more
Sure.
failing, but I don't think he likes those people. I don't think that's why he's doing this.
I don't think he necessarily likes those people, but I do think that he thinks that his place is among them to fix them.
To fix them,
And
yeah.
working with them is infinitely preferable than trying to create a new social order which uh, advantages people more equally.
I think he's definitely more on the side of reform rather than revolution. Yeah.
Sure, but I don't think his idea of reform is all that much reform.
Um I don't think we get enough to say one way or the other on that.
He wants to maintain his monarchical status. He wants to be a king, and he wants everything that comes with that.
I don't know if I think he thinks of kingship as a duty, not a privilege.
I think he thinks of it as a privilege, 100%, and one that he is owed.
Interesting. I don't agree. I don't think we get that in the narrative. We certainly get his loud
I think
protestations
we get it.
against being
I think we get
a
it
prince anymore.
multiple times. I think we get his sadness and his feeling of being stolen from his feeling of his birthright being stolen from him. That he was
Oh,
a
initially
crown
in the
prince and
book?
he was going to inherit, and not just initially, over halfway through.
Well, he
He's still
changes
thinking
away
about
from that,
that.
I think. He thinks about it, yes. I th I don't know, if you were raised with amenities such as hot water and clothes, might you not wistfully think about those if you're thrust into a third world country where you don't have any of those?
I 100% would, yeah. But a kingly title. What's the color that he uses? Indigo. Um, Fine silks and embroidery and jeweled points.
Hmm. Well, we'll see more
I,
of if this side of him comes out more.
Can we start
we
wrapping up
will.
though?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're done.
Great. Join us next time when we cover the second book of The Wars of Light and Shadow, Ships of Merior. Thank you
Woo!
to my co-hosts, Hurin and Kyptan. We will see you in the next one.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
I'm so glad that someone's recommendation finally hit.
It only
I
took
was
a couple
promised
years for us to
You
get
read
here.
this book before.
Yeah, I did. I have read it before, and I actually liked it better this time. um, no, I was promised, like, very strongly for both Grace of Kings and Empire of Silence. This is an Ash book. You guys, you will love this book. Sorry. I'll read the sequels, but geez, that was not Ash books, not Ash books.
Ah, so sad, so sad.
Yeah, I need to listen to that Green Team episode of Grace of Kings because I honestly have no idea what Panda's talking about when she says it does Malazan better than Malazan.
Yeah. Okay, you could cut this part out. So you're saying the football jock versus the musician, but the musician's like fantastic at football too.
But okay, none of them are playing.
Better
You
at
guys are
football.
treating football
Better at football.
as sword fighting.
Yeah, just something
I haven't seen
physical.
Lysair do any sword fighting, but what we have seen him do
No.
is
Wait,
act as
then
long
stop.
range
Then stop
artillery.
saying football. Stop saying football. Say homecoming king.
No,
I can see that.
because you know what quarterbacks do? They throw balls at people from far away. Lysair throws lightning bolts at people from far away, and he also calls the shots. He's a really good shot caller, and Arathon sucks at that.
Arathon actually excels at it.
He's
Okay.
he's really bad at it.
No, he excels at it so much that he has to hide that fact from everybody.
It's like in a crisis, he always manages to do the perfectly wrong thing, except for once at the end of the book when he gets his ass saved from the fire, I think.
We gotta cut this out anyway, so let's just move on.
Yeah. That concludes our coverage of Curse of the Mistborn. Join us next time
Curse of
for
the Mistborn.
Curse of the Mistborn. Oh God, yeah. Okay. I'm sorry, listeners. I'm sorry, co-hosts. I didn't mean for this to happen.
We got a true Canadian sorry there.
Sorry.
Sorry.